If you want to get in this business, you have to have the passion for it.
I don't think if I were starting out now that I would make it.
There's not as much, I don't want to say craftsmanship, but more like artisanship involved in our jobs anymore.
Some people are very camera shy. I have to use my human element, say, it's okay, I'm here.
There is a nobleness to this business.
Maybe men don't necessarily have to have a look, but women need to have a pleasing, appealing look.
It's shown improvement, but there are a lot of things that it is still the vast wasteland.
Hi, I'm Mark Timney, your host for Inside the Mass Media. Before I became a college professor, I worked in the media for close to 20 years. I began my career in television news, and today I'm going to take you on a tour of the station where I got my start. WSEE TV 35 is a CBS affiliate station in Erie, Pennsylvania, one of approximately 1,300 commercial television stations in the United States. Like most small to mid-sized stations, it consists of 5 mutually dependent departments: news, production, sales, engineering, and administration, all overseen by a general manager.
We are the 143rd television market. There are all 4 major networks and PBS, so we have 5 television stations in the market. There are, I believe, 20 radio stations, and there's only 1 newspaper. So in our DMA, which is Erie County, Crawford County, and Warren County, we are 100 miles pretty much in any direction from Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Buffalo.
Administration handles things that all businesses have to contend with: accounting, payroll, and the management of personnel, for example. At WSEE, administration also handles programming. Programming is part of deciding which programs to broadcast and when to broadcast them.
There are a lot of aging baby boomers here, and that's CBS's target audience, even though we're trying to get the younger folks in.
The engineering department is responsible for setting up, maintaining, and repairing the station's broadcasting equipment. It's a big job, as even small stations have millions of dollars of electronics. The sales department is responsible for selling commercial time to local and national advertisers.
We will call on prospective clients. They could be anything from retailers, car dealers, hospitals, insurance companies, lawyers, doctors, whatever it would be. And then what our goal is to go out and form a marketing plan for these people to fill a need. Why do they not have customers? And what we'll do is we'll put together television commercials, and we will help write commercials, produce the commercials, and pick out the programs that will best attract their customers into their places of business.
The sub-department of sales, traffic, schedules the commercial spots and makes sure they're broadcast. The production department at WSEE has 3 divisions: art, news production, and commercial production. Commercial production staffers work with the sales department to create the commercials for local advertisers. News production staffers work behind the scenes to put the news on the air. The art department assists news and commercial production by providing non-video visual elements.
I take the scripts that the producers and the anchors have written and put together along with the rundown, and I kind of collate everything. I make sure that I have tapes assigned for the stories that we're going to be doing, that everybody knows where each piece of tape is going to be, what the camera shots are going to be, and basically I get that pre-planned, and then once the show starts, I press all the buttons and tell everyone what to do.
By the book, you can do anything from studio camera to audio CG to running tapes, being a floor director. What I do, and my position here in the studio, is a floor director camera person. I adjust camera shots. I'm also a good communication link between the anchors, which in this station is a producer, and the director.
I do a lot of scanning and retouching of photographs and designing of logos, a lot of scanning of logos and cleaning them up. Some of the Chiron comes from my computer just because of the fonts and the ability I have to add special effects to them. And I do all the print for the station. I guess that relates directly to promotions. Pretty much everything that isn't video, I do.
The final department, news, has the most important job of all at WSEE, keeping local viewers informed of what's happening in their community.
We are to be the advocate of the underdog. We are to be the spotlight on the powerful. Done well, there is a nobleness
to this business. It's our job to provide that level playing field so that the debate gets out there and people understand the issues, and not to be, pro-choice or to be anti-abortion or to be, any of a number of issues, but to say, here's what X says and here's what Y says. Now, what do you think?
My job is to tell the story visually. Take the story step by step. The reporters will write it, but it's our job in that minute and a half to 2 minutes to show everybody at home what's going on, how to capture the essence of the day, how to capture the essence of the moment that's transpired in front of us. And that's probably the hardest part, is how to show it, what pictures to use that capture what the reporter is writing about. Sometimes you don't have that reporter that's tagging along with you. And so it requires you to both shoot the video and ask the questions as a reporter would.
Some people love to go out and report and be on the beat every day and that kind of thing. That's not my forte. I like to really be a producer, and I see the assignment desk as an extension of that, because I see what we have and I see where it can go, so I can manage to get it into the show where I want to see it. Overall, my objective is, on any given day, making sure we have the top stories of the day. I have to have my hand on the pulse of what people are thinking that day, what they're talking about that day, and what's important. And you have to make those kind of decisions on the fly. So when news is breaking quickly, too, you have to be able to think on your feet and know exactly what it is that you want, and you have to be able to get everybody where they need to go fast.
I want to make sure that I'm clear on the story before I put it on the air. I feel that's a responsibility I have as a news anchor, to make sure that the people understand what I'm saying, to make sure that what I'm saying is correct. If something happens that all of a sudden you're out of favor with the viewer, what can you do about it? There's not a whole lot you can do about it. The best thing to do is get a good solid contract so you don't get fired every time the numbers get out.
I sit here right now at firmly the number 2 station in town, has been since I've been here. Never understood that. I think we do better journalism. I think we do more in-depth stories. I think we do more interesting stories. I think we appeal to the more intellectual viewer, and yet we don't have the top ratings. We have tried to take the high road when it comes to that, and it probably doesn't grab the viewers as well as the bleeds it leads, flash trash kind of thing.
You have to love weather, you have to love math, you have to love physics, you have to love science and geography. If you don't have a love for those, you're not going to make it in weather. You have to be a meteorologist. The days of being a broadcaster and just doing weather and get a forecast from the National Weather Service, they still have them, but they're kind of going by the wayside now, because there's so much technology in weather, so much to learn, that a meteorologist has a lot more credibility than just a weather presenter. The computers I use, I have one computer that has all the information from the National Weather Service. A lot of that is deciphered by a meteorologist. A weather presenter cannot understand it. My other computers are where I make animated graphics, and I have to have a knowledge of meteorology to be able to get them right. Every morning when I come in, or noontime, I have to look at about 30 to 40 maps to get an idea of exactly what I want to do and to make my forecast. So it's a very complicated procedure, and the technology is getting more complicated every day.
It's at the end of the newscasts. The whole show has been about murders and car crashes and city council meetings and everything else. Then, of course, the weather, particularly around here, isn't very good. so you get to that part of the show, somebody needs something to laugh about, or at least feel a little bit better, a little more upbeat about things. So just try to make it fun. In a market like this, a station this size, the work is in shooting everything. We can't hire a sketch artist for a football game. So, so obviously gathering the stuff, getting the interviews going, say previewing a big high school football game, going to the places at the right, when they have practice, and then you put it all together and get it on the air. It seems like, well, that's easy, but people don't understand. We don't have a staff of 25 people out there with cameras gathering all this stuff up. So in many cases, it's us having to do all that kind of legwork.
The future at this point is capturing the market and staying viable at this point, with viewership dwindling daily with cable and satellite penetration and all different internet services, and that, for a small market or practically any television station, you have to set yourself up as number one, the place to go for information, because you have so many other options to go to. Why are you going to tune in and watch local sports and find out how your favorite Major League Baseball team did when you can go to ESPN.com and get it, or go to ESPN, or go to MSNBC and get the national news. You have to find your niche, stick with it, grab it in your branding, and stay there.